Hi guys, alright, this is our final lesson for the week. We are going to talk about mode. So in this lesson we are going to answer the question, how do I calculate the mode of a data set? Okay, if you are able to understand mean and median, I would say mode is one of the easier lessons we have of the week. Okay, if you are able to open the Pear Deck, and if you aren't, that's okay. You could have shared a message with our math class right here. I know we're all missing each other at home. Okay, this is just a warm-up review, taking and reviewing what we've learned these past 2 days about mean and median. Okay, if you remember the middle number, we think of the middle number as the median. So you draw a line to the median. You add up the numbers and divide by how many are in the set. Remember, those are our steps to find the mean. The average is another way of saying the mean, and put numbers in order from smallest to biggest and cross off each end. That is the median. That was just a little warm-up review of what we have learned. Okay, for today's lesson, we are first going to introduce mode. Then we're going to practice solving for mode, and then we will do an exit slip together before you do complete assignment number 4 independently by yourself and turn it in. When we think of mode, we think of the word most. How do we calculate mode? There are 3 steps. Step number 1, look at the data set and determine which number is used the most. Okay, when we say most, we don't think of the highest number, the biggest number. It's what number is used more than one time and the most of any other number, more than any other number. Step number 2, if all numbers are only used once, there is no mode. So for some data sets, there are no mode if each number is only used once. And then finally, if there are 2 numbers used the most, there can be more than one mode, and we will see an example like that for it to make sense. But let's look at our first example. Here's our data set right here, 4, 6, 2, 2, and 1. Step number 1, look at the data set. What number is used the most? Okay, I do see the number 2 used twice. Okay, the number 1 is used once, the number 4 is used once, the number 6 is used once, so our mode is 2 because it is used twice. Okay, so 2 is our answer. Let's look at the next example. Remember, our steps are on the side to refer to. Here's our data set, 4, 3, 10, 2, and 1. Okay, step number 1, look at the data set. What number is used the most? Looking at the data set, I see that each number is only used once. Okay, if all numbers are only used once, step number 2 says the answer is we have no not letting me type it, but the answer is no mode. Okay, there's no mode because each number is only used once. Alright, let's look at our third example. Our data set is 1, 3, 2, 1, 5, and 3. Step number 1, look at the data set. What number is used the most? Okay, I see 1 is used twice and 3 is used twice. Okay, so that means 2 numbers are used the most. Okay, so our mode is 1 and 3. It's not letting me put a space, but the answer is 1 and 3. Okay, we have more than one mode in this case. Okay, there is a YouTube clip you can watch. I also pasted this link in one of the optional videos you could watch for the week if you would like someone else explaining how to do this as well, if my explanation didn't clarify all of your questions you might have had. Okay, just a reminder, because we are learning remotely, you can pause at any point. You could take as many bathroom breaks as you want. You could take as many stretch breaks as you want. You could re-watch videos. You could watch them straight through if you want. Whatever you need to get through each lesson each day. Okay, let's look at some examples. Solve to find the mode. Show your work to find the mode of the data set. So our data set is right here, 3, 2, 2, 5, 7. Step number 1, look at the data set. What number is used the most? Okay, so we're looking for any numbers that are used more than once. Some of you guys might see that 2, right, is used more than once. Okay, so we have 2. Step 2, determine if there's one mode, no mode, or more than one mode. Okay, well, we determine that there's only one mode, right? Because only 2 is used twice. So our mode is 2 for this example. Let's look at our next example. We have our data set 4, 3, 1, 1, 19, 0, 24. Okay, step 1, look at the data set. Which number is used the most? Remember, when we say most, we are not picking the highest or the biggest number. 24 is not the mode because it's only used once. But 1, the number 1 is used twice. Okay? So that means that we only have one mode, and it is the number 1. Okay, I'm hoping this is starting to make sense. Looking at this data set, we have 5, 0, 7, and 10. Looking at the data set, which number is used the most? Okay, looking at this data set, I don't see any number used more than once. Okay, so we need to determine if there's one mode, no mode, or more than one mode. There is no mode. Our answer is no mode. Our answer is not 0. Okay, it's no mode. Apologize for my handwriting. No mode. Okay. Let's look at our next example. This data set has 5, 0, 7, 10, 8, 7, 2, and 0. Looking at the data set, what number is used the most? I see 0 used more than once. We have zeros here. I see 7 used more than once. Okay. And they're used the same amount of times. So looking at the data set, which numbers are used the most? We have 7. We have 0. Okay, so we're determining if we have one mode, no mode, or more than one mode. We have more than one mode. And our mode is 7 and 0. Okay, 7 and 0 are our modes for this data set. Looking at our next example, our data set is 5, 5, 6, 2, 7, 6, 5, 3, 1, 5. So let's determine all the numbers that are used more than once. 5 is used more than once. I see 6 used more than once. And that's it. Okay, so we have 2 numbers used more than once, but we have to look at what number is used the most. Okay, 5 is used 4 times, and 6 is used 2 times. So the number that is actually used the most is 5, okay? 6 is used less than 5, okay? If they were both used 4 times, then it would be 6 and 5, but because 5 is used the most, we only have one mode as our answer, and that is 5. Okay, let's look at our next example. Choose who got the correct answer. Students in Miss Curran's class calculated the mode of the data set and got the following scores. Who calculated them correctly? Okay, so if we look at our data set, we are looking to see if any number is used more than once. I see 3 used more than once. Okay, so the answer should just be 3. Next example, looking at our data set, I do not see any number used more than once. So our answer is no mode. Okay, and let's practice this exit slip together. Using this data set, find the mode. Okay, so if you want to put them in order, you can. You do not need to necessarily put them in order for the modes. We're just trying to identify which number is used more than once. I see that we have one mode, and that answer is 1. Okay, looking at this next one, this is, this was a mistake, I apologize. This should say mode instead of median. Find the mode of the data set. And if you notice, no number is used more than once, so our answer is no mode. Okay, and the final step, if you were able to complete the Pear Deck, I know many of you couldn't, and I apologize. I'm still learning what you can access from home. You could have wrote something short about what was easy, or what was interesting, or what was too hard about the lesson. And then there were homework assignments, which we're not going to go over, which was just extra work or practice if you wanted to complete it at home. Remember, following this video, you could watch it again if you need to, but you will have to complete assignment number 4. If you want more practice before completing the assignment, you could go to IXL 5th grade X4. You could use a calculator, even though for mode you don't necessarily need it. You could watch the video of someone else explaining it, or you could watch my video again. Next week we will talk about range and put all of these steps together. I hope everyone has a good weekend.